The river was perfectly regulated. Several weaves and dams, which are helping to protect the city against flood. What is more important, which are keeping the river navigable oriented. And we changed the river. It's not one border anymore. And it's a system of 4 lakes. They are connected, they are shipping canals and locks, and it's quite easy to pass it through. For this evening, we chose most beautiful lake. It's a place with historical Charles Bridge. It's the area from which most significant landmarks, monuments, and architectural gems are perfectly visible. And 1 hour we will cruise it and enjoy it. The boat has 3 floors. For those of you who want to enjoy nice outdoor autumn Czech evening atmosphere, the rooftop is perfect. For those of you who want to sit in a comfortable saloon with a hair temperature, these 2 floors are perfect. Just at the beginning also typical practical information if anybody needs a toilet, which is on the back side, and that is probably all that we will need. If somebody would like to have something to drink, my colleague is ready to prepare you some coffee, some soft drinks which are available at the bar, so feel free if somebody feel like to have something to have it here. And anyway, at 8 o'clock when we will be back, the large, beautiful dinner, which is all inclusive, is ready and available. But we will continue for the rest of the evening. We just are passing a beautiful bridge. It was finished in 1908 as Art Nouveau Bridge. It's a copy of one famous bridge in Paris. If you probably walked across Champs-Élysées, if you cruised Seine River in Paris, you definitely remember Alexandre Troisième Bridge. And then as a rule, there's a reason why this bridge was built here, because on the left side, that's the area that is to be the Jewish quarter of Prague. At the beginning of the 20th century, the area had to be demolished, and the new modern quarter in Parisian style, in modern European style, and the decision was made that also a symbolic copy of Champs-Élysées will be built across the former Jewish border. So if you walk from this bridge to the right, you will get over the fancy street full of boutique shops, which is called Paris Street, Paris Avenue, and you will get to the Old Town Square, to the astronomical clock. And this bridge plays a symbolic role for boats, because that's a gate which should protect the city. If the boats are coming, there's a special decoration. It's made of legendary creatures from Greek fairy tales and legends, hydras, medusas. They're protecting it and warning all visitors to come center of Prague with respect. If you're leaving the Prague, from this side, you would see beautiful ladies. They're having torches in their hands, and they are wishing bon voyage to all boats which are sailing out of town. If you would like to get from Prague to North Sea, that would take at least 7 days. After 50 miles, you would join the Elbe River, and together with the Elbe, you would pass through Germany to empty into the North Sea in the city of Hamburg. What must be mentioned is the beauty of city of Prague. I took part in your opening ceremony yesterday. We didn't have uniform, so some of you probably didn't recognize me. There was an amazing evening, and very inspirational evening at a municipal house. Beautiful music, valuable, smart speeches full of wisdom, and we have a tradition that we respect people who evaluated our history. And one of them who must be definitely mentioned is Czech medieval king Charles IV. King who ruled this country in the 14th century and who made a decision that Prague must be changed from a regular European medieval town into a very representative city of Czech kings and of the Holy Roman Emperors. Imagine that in the 14th century he founded university, which was the oldest university north of Italy and east of Spain. It was amazing. He had a wish, he had a dream, and he had a goal that Prague must be not only a regular medieval town, but a very representative city of Czech kings and of the Holy Roman Emperors of German Empire. He was one of them. And that's why he invited different specialists to Prague, and for construction of the bridge and for construction of the cathedral, amazing, genius, German architect Peter Pavler was invited. Peter Pavler came to the city of Prague from Germany, from Köln, at the age of 23. He was 23 years old when he started to build a bridge, and he spent 55 years of his life to building it. And he school class. So the Czech schools must accept at least 3 Ukrainian children that they can join our education. It's quite easy for them to learn Czech language because Ukrainian language is a Slavic language. It's close to us. If you stay here, you understand Slovak, Polish, Serbo-Croatian, but also it's quite easy for us to learn Ukrainian and Russian. And same easy as that for them. In a couple of months, at least in half a year or 1 year, they can fluently speak Czech and they can join our education, because it doesn't seem at the moment that the situation in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia, will be better. The whole country is watching the TV, listening to the radios and following what will be the result, because right now, just counting it. What we already know, that the government probably will be not that democratic anymore. It will be more radical, like Slovakia unfortunately has, like Hungary unfortunately has.
It's raining, no?
And also the results of US presidential elections were not that would be helping Europe that much at the moment. King Charles was an amazing personality, so was rich, and the cathedral in the new town of Prague, it was actually built during the 14th century. And what he made for the country was the tradition of coronation jewels, because as a good king, he all his life was collecting the precious stones from the whole world. And from 2 kilograms of solid gold, he in 14th century made an amazing crown that was used in later for all centuries of coronation of Czech kings. It's a gem which is located on the holy side, which is part of cathedral at the Prague Castle. It's called St. Wenceslas Chapel. And it's a piece which has enormous value. The biggest ruby stone by which the crown is decorated, it was brought in 14th century from Sri Lanka. It's a miracle stone that whole medieval Europe was hunting for, and he got it. Few weeks before his death. He also kind of like the relics of Jesus Christ. So in 14th century already, he got in Jerusalem one original form of Jesus Christ. Enormous value. It's not open to public. Of course, we keep it in a special chamber which is locked at the cathedral by the gate, which is 7 locks, and those keys are keeping those 7 representative in exhibition. If we display them to public, then all these 7 people will come to the open ceremony. And this extraordinary moment, it was just last week. So several 100,000 people, families with children from all different regions, they trusted the gates several kilometers long, sometimes, to show the children how we keep this tradition of the old nation all around the world.
रात में क्या मतलब रात में जाते होंगे अभी देखिए वृंदावन में भी कहते हैं निधि वन में नहीं जा सकते आप भगवान की कॉफी उनके अंदर डर तो डर ही है डर के आगे जीत है
Summer 2002, the rain started. Not here in Prague only, not in Bohemia only, but all around Europe. It was raining for 40 days. And after that, water rose for 7 meters, 42 feet. It was so unexpected. No one was ready for that. The embankments, which were made at the end of 19th century, were not high enough. So water flooded rapidly in a few days the whole city. Imagine that we had to evacuate out of center of Prague 250,000 people. There's approximately 1,200,000 people living in Prague, so 250,000 leave their homes here in the center, and most of our buildings, most of our homes were flooded to the second floor. And after that, after the river fell down again, it took many days, more than 25 days, we started to make a big investment to protect it. So we always, if we will build something related to water, we go to the Netherlands. Dutch engineers are the world's greatest, most skillful lowland protectors. If we need to build anything here in Prague on the water, we also go to Netherlands. And just over the weekend of consultation, we have the result, because everything was made and created in the Netherlands. And for Prague, they designed an amazing system. It's an aluminum wall. It's a removable system which can be set up, reassembled and dismantled really fast. And we keep now several thousand soldiers, firemen and volunteers. And if this situation comes, if the water starts to rise up, we are ready to set up in 48 hours only a system which is 22 kilometers long, which protects perfectly, our homes against flooding. In past, it was not that common. There was no way how to protect the city, and because quite important craft, quite important profession of medieval Bohemia and Prague was the timber rafting, transportation of wood from the mountains down to the city of Prague. Many times in history, one thing happened. All the debris, all the wood filled the Charles Bridge. And many times in history, Charles Bridge collapsed. So it had to be renovated maybe 8 times in the history. Prague is a beautiful medieval town. If that wouldn't be a city, that would be definitely a nice national park, because there's a wonderful nature around us. If you were cruising different European rivers in different European towns, like Amsterdam, like Venice, like Vienna, like Berlin, like Paris, like St. Petersburg, like Porto, it has a different atmosphere. These are mostly all flat towns, Budapest as well. But Prague, it is kind of hilly relief. It's like a city of Rome. City of Rome was built on 7 hills. Prague has 14 hills. Castle, of the National Theatre, of the spires. City of Prague has 1,350 spires of churches, monasteries, palaces, and these were all built over centuries for one important thing, and it was glory of God. That's why Czech kings were smart enough that they never destroyed none of them. They were just adding new modern style. After Romanesque, Gothic came. After Gothic, Renaissance. After Renaissance, Baroque, and Art Nouveau, and modern styles. And that created an unusual, incredible mixture of architecture of 12th century. It's just amazing. And during the World War II, Prague was not bombed. It was not bombed like other European towns, like Berlin, like Polish cities, and we paid for that a certain price, and there was presence of several thousand German soldiers and officers who were controlling occupied areas of Czechoslovakia, but also of Eastern Europe. And when Hitler visited Prague for the first time, he just fell in love with the city. He was so amazed, so he strictly ordered that Prague must be safe. So no German bomb fall on Prague, and he had a plan to build here a museum of Slavic race. And that's why Prague stayed safe. There was the only little accidental bombing at the end of World War II in 1945, just a few weeks before the end of World War II. And after the war, Czechoslovakia became part of Eastern Bloc, and the Russians, they controlled completely Czech policy, Czech economy, Czech industry, but they didn't invest into the public areas. And Prague survived with not any modern buildings. Nothing modern was built here. So if you walk across the city nowadays, you will see it's very clean, it's very safety, it's perfectly renovated. We worked hard for really many years on fixing it. So as my grandparents say, guys, be happy because now you're living in the best version of Prague since most of the buildings are built. And you can truly experience that. If you will walk across the city or many places, you can feel like in the medieval times. We just passed the Charles Bridge. Amazing gem of Gothic architecture constructed by Czech medieval king Charles IV with the help of German architect Peter Parler, as was already mentioned. And because Charles, he believed in astrology, he knew that everything and man's life has the proper timing. He asked astrologers to recommend him the best day when he will place the headstone of the bridge and when the construction can start. And they recommend him a special numeric code. If you would follow odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9, and back again, 7, 5, 3 and 1, you will get the numeric pyramid. And if you will read it as a date, you will get 1357, 9th of July, and exactly 5:31 in the morning. A special moment, proper moment when all planets were located above Prague horizon, and when constellation of Leo was arising at the eastern side, because lion, it's a heraldic symbol of Czech Kingdom. It's an astrological equivalent of Czech Kingdom. So it couldn't be better conditions. Bridge survived all the flooding, all the wars. In 18th century, Catholic Church decided that would be interesting pilgrimage site. So the poor Gothic bridge was decorated by Baroque statues, which were made by famous Baroque masters from Germany, from Czech Republic, from Czechia, from Bohemia, from Italy as well. And it was celebrating 668 years this summer. This is one of the most beautiful places on the river that we have. We're right now behind the Charles Bridge. What you see on the left side is a gorgeous building. There is a real golden fence on the roof. It's 24 karat plated gold. It's 5 kilograms of plated gold over there. And that's a Czech National Theatre. It's a prime stage of opera and of the ballet performances. And behind us you see the magnificent panoramic view of the Tampa Island and of the Prague Castle. If any official state visitors come to visit Czech Republic President, he never accommodates them in any commercial hotel. He's fully responsible for their security. That's why we have a special site for accommodation. And that's this palace right here. It's called Liechtenstein Palace. Stays on the island. British Queen Elizabeth was one of the important visitors. 4 US presidents and more than 150 other presidents, prime ministers and official delegations. I didn't see here anybody from Ukraine, but when President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, was visiting Prague, it was 2 times in past year during the war, he always stayed in secret in this building. There are bulletproof windows and it's the object of very special security. And from the windows you have amazing view of the other side, which is the oldest embankment in the city. What was the highlight of yesterday's evening in the National Municipal House? It was definitely harp player. The amazing blonde Czech well-known musician was presenting to you Vltava River Symphony. It was a big tribute to this river. It was composed by composer Bedřich Smetana, gentleman who lived nearby and who got inspiration from the sound of this river. For Czechs, it's a very important piece. We keep a nice tradition of Czechoslovakian life. Then, when our aircrafts are landing here in Prague at the local airport, they always play us this piece as a welcome home melody. I know that you enjoyed that melody yesterday in the municipal house, but in my opinion, absolutely makes sense if we will listen to this piece again, right here on the river. There's not any special speaker, but I'll play it to the mic from my phone directly to you, and you can enjoy this atmosphere together. Imagine one thing, this piece was composed in the last period of life of Smetana when he was totally deaf.
Byla letuška, ne? Letec.
To the borough. The one was Antonín Dvořák, who was better known in the United States, who was the only Czech who got the position of the chief of New York Philharmonic Orchestra in 1896, and who composed an amazing piece which is called Symphony from the New World. Not everybody knows that when Neil Armstrong was landing on the moon in 1969, he had a great privilege to choose one melody which will be played during this moment, and he decided to play Dvořák's melody. So it became the first men's melody out of planet Earth, which was presented in this way. We had a madness just 2 weeks ago here in Prague, before the elections, before the Crown Jewels exhibition. Latest book of American popular writer Dan Brown was published. There some Americans who will definitely know them. Most of you will know that Dan Brown is the author of Da Vinci Code, which was a worldwide book which was filmed after, and it was very successful. And so is the latest book, which is called Secret of Secrets. One, I'm talking about it right here on this group because the book was written here in Prague about Prague. Dan Brown spent 6 years by exploring local history, visiting Prague in different places, looking for the characters, and then this is the result. 700 book of an amazing story, which is on the base of a dramatic story, on the background of a dramatic story, explaining amazing results of brain sign, of a human consciousness, of the spirit of nowadays days, nowadays age, and it starts at a Four Seasons Hotel. Four Seasons Hotel here in Prague is located right here. There are 3 windows which are lighted on our left-hand side. So if you will read the first page of this book, it takes place right there at the Four Seasons. It's a shocking fact that we have people of 32 countries aboard, but here in Czech Republic, if you sell 10,000 pieces of any book, then that becomes a bestseller. And Dan Brown sold in 2 days, during the first weekend, 120,000 of his books translated to Czech language, which is a historical record of this country. And at the same time, before it was published, it was translated into 57 languages. Imagine what power is that you do this project, you translate it worldwide, and the same name releases in 57 countries. So that's amazing, you know, possibilities of the 21st century, nowadays age, and the life you live. Amazing. France was a great inspiration for local architecture. In 1889, when the whole country industrial fair in France was organized, Eiffel's Tower was designed and built. Czechs sent 2 spies to Paris. They made a design, and in 2 years, our own copy of Eiffel's Tower was built. It's a smaller model. It's 1/5 of the size of a real one, and it was built right there on top of the hill. You see, it's lighted, and it serves as a lookout tower. There's a funicular which is operating up and down, and if you will find that out, it's a point to position one of the most beautiful.
These were so beautiful.
With lights.
I didn't change.
It's the second most visited local attraction in the city. It's really a good place to go. So right here we have a Four Seasons Hotel. So it's a royal suite, those 3 windows. And what is interesting, that this is the only remaining original building from the Jewish quarter, which was located in this area. Unfortunately, at the beginning of the 20th century, the whole area was demolished. They left there just all Jewish graveyard, several synagogues, and the reason was simple. The whole city was sitting, the whole area, the whole quarter, it was sitting 6 meters lower. And also the water level was 4 meters lower here in the center. But when the dam was built, south of center, and then the water up, it would be flooding it. So not easy decision had to be made. that we will demolish the Jewish quarter, that we will build the embankment wall, that we will build a dam, which will dam the water up and that will keep it navigable permanently all year around. So these are two only unique remaining original buildings of Jewish quarter. No, it is part of the most luxurious hotel in the city. Next to it, there is an interesting building. It's a palace filling the whole space between the hotel and Praha and the Charles Bridge, and it is old Catholic monastery. There are more than 22 Catholic orders operating on the Prague territory. Dominicans, Capuchin monkeys, Remonstrants, Augustinians. The latest Pope, Leo XIV, is Augustinian, his order of Augustinians. And they all came from abroad, with the only exceptions, which is this monastery. It's a Czech order, we call them Knights of Cross with a Red Star. And they stay here since mid of 13th century till present day. They're still active. And ladies, they're the only men's order all around the world which was founded by a woman. Saint Agnes de Bohemia, she was the founder. Is investing here in Prague enormous money into the public transportation. It's a system which is one of the greatest in Europe. Very clean, it's safety, it's very cheap. Imagine that for equivalent of 100 euro or 100 US, you can use it with not any restrictions the whole year. It's a month's price if it in Europe, for example. And buses, trolleybuses, trams, ferries included as well. But the most important part is the subway. Millions of visitors of Prague and locals uses it every day. You can live in Prague basically with no car, because everything is available, accessible, and easy to reach. And this is one of the points. There are subway passes, I think, beneath. So you can go from the town to the other side, to the other side, to the other side, you pass the river. Water in this river is pretty clean. If you look at that during the daylight, looks very brown, it's a bit green, but it's caused by sediments only. There's not any pollution, the river doesn't stink at all, like if you visit the city of Venice, like if you take part in Olympics on Seine in Paris. So it's very clean, comes from the mountains, there's not any source of pollution. It's why Czechs love to fish. There are more than 35 species, and what we fish for are mostly eel, catfish, rainbow trout, pike, but the most typical fish is Czech carp. Other nations doesn't eat it. In the US, in Australia, it's bottom feeder, but here Czechs are breeding carpfish for centuries. It's a tasty meat, and we keep the tradition that we prepare it as a traditional Christmassy dish. So a very traditional Czech Christmassy dinner. It's fried carp with potato salad. In past, people loved to swim in the water, in the river. And after we will pass the bridge on the left side, that was the area where large wooden floating swimming pools was located. They had a very strange way how to teach children how to swim. They always made them fast on the rope, and on the long pool they showed them around like a fish. And the water is very clean, so the children hate it, you know. The Jewish quarter is now on our right-hand side, and there was an interesting question from one lady from South Africa. She's visiting Prague for the first time, as probably many of you, and maybe during the daylight you saw up on the hill kind of metronome. It's the same instrument that you use in classical music if you play the piano for timing. But this is the artistic version. It's a piece of kinetic arts. And would you believe or not, it reminds us a period between 1955 and 1962. Communist regime built right there on top of the hill world's biggest monument to Russian dictator Stalin. It was 29 meters tall. It was almost half size of Jesus in Rio de Janeiro, and it looked totally ugly. And after Stalin died, 1953, it took another 7 years when Nikita Khrushchev became power, and when he allowed that he can loot it up. So that doesn't exist anymore. And this monument, it reminds us that it was not easy at all to live in this country during the 20th century. My grandparents, they passed away at the age of 80. But 60 years of their life, it was the regime which was not freedom, it was not democratic, they were not free to speak language they wanted, they were not able, they were not free to travel out of the country, west of Prague, they were not able to do the job they were studying for, they wished to do, and they were not allowed to give us, their children, education that they wish to. And this was changed just in 1989 by Velvet Revolution, after the fall of Berlin Wall, after we had the first democratic election in the whole history of this country. So, if we summarize that, Czechs are living now 32 years in the democratic regime, and it's the longest period probably in the whole history of this country.
Local food, it's very tasty but not healthy at all. You can't people that you eat that every day. You have a meat, you have a sauce, you know, dumplings, and a regular side dish, or a glass of tea. It's a tradition, which is maybe more than 500 breweries which are all around the country. So here you can taste the local beer. It was prepared according to the local sea. It is a different taste. The most famous commercial brand is called Pilsner Urquell. But there's beyond the one brewery in the whole country which is floating on the river, and it's docking right here. So there's a, next to the bridge on the right side, it's a floating brewery with a whole procedure of brewing of the beer. And there's one sympathetic thing for us, for captains, because as you know, McDonald's, they're having McDrive. Just come with your car, they serve you the food to your car. And this floating brewery here in Prague is having beer drive. So you just ring the bell and they serve you a tap of beer directly to your boat. Czechs are leading beer consumption statistics with 170 liters per head a year. It is much more than other, let's say, alcoholic nations like Irish, like, forgive me, Germans, Dutch, and probably Belgians as well. And of course, Danish people.
Shall we go?
We're just coming close to the stand, which is 5 meters tall. There's an amazing waterfall which we call Little Prague Niagara. In the summer holidays, it's the best place to swimming. You can relax in the cold water and you can even swim under the waterfall. It's very refreshing. And perfect site, which could be a source of power. So there's a little shuttle in front of us, it's lighted and a light green. Looks like really some representative hall, but it's a hydropower plant. So you'll find 4 powerful turbines which are generating electricity, 2 megawatts of electricity. So it's a source good enough to cover the whole city lighting in the central city. Prague is lighted, very green energy, very listed that building, so it's a hydropower plant. And now we will just turn the boat and we will pass last 10 minutes of the cruise and we will have at the end truly amazing view back. After the landing in 10 minutes, it will be distant slowly in 3 minutes to get to the other boat. So when the dinner is ready for you, when the music and culture is ready for you, and then we will be enjoying the rest of the evening together. Thank you very much. It was a great honor for me to host you on our boat. Really have a great respect for your holistic approach to the medicine, and I'm so grateful that this kind of event takes place in Prague. And let me just mention one thing. Let me just mention one name of gentleman who put this all together, who's a guy who's from the decision. He's an extremely smart guy. One of the most respected people in this country I like. I can say my old friend, and Mr. Mike Pfeiffer. So thank you very much, Dr. Mike Pfeiffer. Thank you very much for all this team, how perfectly they're organizing this team and put us all together, and that we can share our knowledge, and it's just amazing. So enjoy the rest of the evening. I'm getting my speech now, and I'll be walking and we'll be conversing individually. If you ask me anything, I'm here for you till midnight today.
Secondo te perché le donne vengono bruciate? Le donne di conoscenza?
Io guarda, sono convinta.
60.000 donne in Germania.
E guarda, se avremo modo, io vi do questo librettino, perché questo è un piccolo romanzo. Ma io sono contentissima, tanto perché questa donna non raccontava niente a nessuno, adesso abbiamo fatto un libro, non ne ha parlato, perché poi è stato un parlamentare che ha voluto che ne parlasse al Parlamento europeo. Ci abbiamo fatto, molto divertente. Io tre poster Zaptejse se to trefí.
No, když tam je nájezd z té vody na ten břeh a on jak ten zadek trošku otáčel ten nájezd, který ještě byl ve vodě. To byl
Vede.
Si přesunu tady z té strany.
Já budu držet. हो गया थोड़ा बढ़
When you're nice to people, it's a lot nice to people.
Tam, kde jste viděli,